So for changing ethnic identity, still globalization anyway, globalization and the association movement of people around the world, that is migration, mean that many societies are more ethnically mixed than in the past. This happens through two main processes. One, immigration, which is the movement of people into a country with different ethnic groups physically meet. Cultural globalization, where through agencies such as internet, ethnic cultures, identities are increasingly exposed to different cultural influences. So with globalization, I'm here, I can practice my culture here. You can see it, you can feel it. You can buy into it. I can buy into your culture too. So globalization has changed ethnic identity as a result of that. That's the first thing. And the other one is cultural globalization, which could be as a result of the society itself, the internet, what our exposure, things we start doing, people we talk to, the institution. So there is always, in the school they have international days, right?
Yeah.
So which you have to choose a country. How do you come up with this country, choosing this country? You choose this country because you have interest in that country. Whatever values the country brings, you put it into practice. So this is what globalization is. It's cultural globalization. So institutions start advertising. Institutions start making people have interest in culture, and this has changed our look, our way through ethnicity. So I wouldn't just see myself as a Nigerian if I start thinking about using practicing Libyan culture during International Day. So we choose Libya, or we choose this country. So in as much as we choose that country, we start having interest in that country. We start looking into the culture, the practices, the food, the clothes. What happens in that culture? And that is what we have to, that must reflect in us when we are representing that country. So these things also change our identity. Do you get it? So ethnicity is based on global exposure, which has allowed interconnectedness with culture, with tradition. As a result of that, we start behaving like them, we start practicing what they practice because we have interest in it. Without globalization, we won't have it. There will be blockade. It will be fixed. The Libyan will practice the Libyan culture, the Nigerian will practice the Nigerian culture. There won't be exposure of culture, which is happening now due to globalization and choices. Is it clear? So this can lead to established identities gradually changing by constantly drawing on new influences and re-establishing old identities in the face of new challenges. White English youth identities have, for example, include aspects of other cultures relating to music such as rock, pop, rap, and hip-hop, food such as hamburgers, Asian cuisine, German beer, and the rest. Language, especially slang terms associated with youth subcultures or culture, clothing that include jeans and t-shirts. So basically, what you're talking about ethnicity is that we start practicing other people's identity, other people's culture, because we have access to them and we find interest in them. So that has bring about new ethnic identity. So this process can also lead to a mixing of distinctive ethnic style to produce new and unique identities. This mixing tends to take place on the margins of identity, involving the combination of specific features of ethnic identities rather than a complete change. So I won't become a Libyan overnight. I won't become a Libyan, but I can practice the Libyan culture. I can eat the Libyan food. So one way or the other, I start buying into the culture. So it means I am exposed. I'm having a new ethnic identity according to this. So when you see me eating a Libyan delicacy, you're like, oh, are you becoming a Libyan now? Though I am not, but based on the fact that I have access to what they eat, then I can see myself as being part of it. I think it's clear. So they talked about food and music. So I listen to the music, Libyan music, or you listen to a Nigerian music and the rest. It's still part of cultural change. So culture is changing, ethnic is changing based on the fact that there's globalization, which allows us to have access to other people's ethnicity or other people's culture and practices. That's about culture, ethnic identity, and changes. Is it clear?